Hiya, today we're going to have a go at making our little bench. When the company was closing, I begged these wrought iron end pieces. And my mate Eric chopped down some wood for me, and he slitted this down on his big saw as well. So I've got the wood for it. So I'm just going to measure it up, cut it down to a suitable width, give it a lick of paint, find some paint for the end pieces there. We'll have a nice little bench to sit in front of the shed, bottom of the garden. In summer, this end gets the late evening sun, so we've got the bench over yon side for the early morning sun, which was is actually a birthday gift from Paul, our neighbour, and it's a brilliant bench. Look at this, and that had to be there as well. Grumpy Lizzie, that's me. So that's at the top end, and then at late afternoon, if we're pottering about, we can have a sit down here. I was thinking about taking this to Portugal, but I don't think I will do, because I think it fits there quite nicely now. Right, we'll see how we get on with it. Got my tatty gloves on again. These are my Sunday ones. The Holy. Haha. Right, I've brought, that's my top one. Okay, we'll call him number one. And use that one as a guide for the rest of them. So I'm going to sit there on camera, just out of view, but I'm actually resting it on the floor. Just done that across the top of it to mark it. He's going to be number two. Puts on again. Not a bad February morning. And actually had to put my coat on today, which is rather good. Right, so I'll just give this a quick waz over with this. Just tighten up a little bit. Stop splinters. That is alright. It's been cooked really clean. Right, we'll put another one. Right, now this is old gash wood, but they might slit it down, and it's alright. It'll do what I want to do, but I always have a look. There's my overall length on it that I need, and I always have a look the bit I'm chopping off. Try and find any blemishes or anything that you don't want. Like there's a nail hole in there. I'll spin it around and have a look on here. Now there's a bigger one there, but I don't think that's going to get past that. Now, whichever way I do it, I'm going to get that hole. But so I think I'm going to take that one purely for the fact that there is an hole there that I can take out of it. Again, using me measure, top of me. Actually, I suppose really I should really put the square across it, just in case there's anything that's a bit untowards, but we're not building a cabinet or anything exotic. It's only an outdoor bench. Let's go again. Oh, gonna mount that one. This one's number 3, so I know they go in the right order. That one's got some splashy paints on it, but that's going to be the downside, so you won't actually see that one once I've got it put where I want it. Again, I'll give it a quick Right, before I show you outside the bench, I'm just going to quickly show you what the offcuts, what I've done with them. I made myself another little bench, and those bits there fit perfectly. Swing it around. Now just got to find another bit for the end there, but that's a nice solid bench. I've done quite a few benches, as you know. I'm slowly getting my man cave bit sorted out. Still a long way to go yet. Oh, let's put that. But it's all about space and storage, etc. I did concentrate on Kaz's bit. I put. I don't want to show you that. That was my last bit of shelving to keep Kaz happy. Well, that's cluttered up with my stuff. That'll all be gone hopefully next week. Just concentrating on me stairs. I better quickly show that, because I'm hoping they're going to be done next 2 days. What I've been doing is, I'll quickly tell you while I've got the camera out, to make putting this back together again. It's easier if I glue these 2 bits together like that. That forms a step, obviously. Now I'll glue these 1 a day, basically. In fact, I haven't actually took the clamps off this one yet for today, but I will do later on this morning. And there's one of the steps ready to go in the framework. It's easier because all of these are, sorry for dancing about from one end of the shed to the other, but all of these go together really without any nails or screws. They use wedges, and I'd like to put it back together, but I was trying to put it together the other day, and it kept falling apart on me, and I thought the easiest way is to actually put the steps, glue the steps together, and then I can drop them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to make sure it all goes together okay, and then it'll go over to Portugal in separate bits. The steps will be glued together as a step. Then the two outside ones will go on their own. And then when I get there, I can either screw them or glue them once I get ready to use them. Right, now going back to our little English project. We've got it to this stage now. That gives you a clue as to the width of it. Don't worry about it being on the slosh because it ain't bolted together. I think once we're... I'll try and lean that way. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, but obviously it'll be... Paint them next. Paint the end pieces. Then I'll be able to bolt them together. Okay. Took this wood down to Eric's, but I left these 2 bits behind, or 3 bits behind, because I've got a job for these in Portugal. What I've got is a door already over there, but I realise I haven't got a door frame for it. So I think the best bet is for me to actually take one over there, or the wood to make one, because I made one here previously, and I thought I could do something similar over the other side. The one thing I haven't got is my distance to put that in there, to put that, cut that out on this one, because I don't know my distance to my door, so I'm going to have to take it in 3 parts. But what I might do, I've either got to tosh it in from the side there, or I might tosh it in from the side, just make it a square. That won't be as strong, but I might end up cutting into it below on the 2 uprights, and then I can just cut that to where it needs to be. Then it'll sit inside there and it'll make it a little bit stronger. But before I do that, I want to sand it down and varnish it, just to give it I don't know the length of the door over there, so these 2 planks are long enough, more than long enough, and they're substantial as well. For security reasons, they'll stand too. And then I realise that once I've got the door hung, it's going to have to... I've got no architrave of any sort, so I'm going to have to make a chunky bit of architraving for the door to close to. So it'll be something like that, won't it? When the door swings shut, I'll position that where it needs to be to keep everything straight, keep the weather out. In principle it will work, but like all of these jobs, it's suck it and see. Well, I've got them all in the right place. Now there's me steps that I rubbed down and varnished, but when I put it back together, I had to screw it in there, although it's got wedges around the back don't think you can see them in there particularly. I had to screw the steps in, and obviously they've been countersunk, and I've put filler in, and then I'm going to sand them down, then see what it looks like and varnish it again. Also, there's quite a few scuff marks on it, but again, it looks a lot better than what it was when I first got it off a bonfire. So I'm going to be able to make some use of it. I know I am. Then I've got some little bits to sort out, some metal work with regards to putting the various bits in the van to take over there. I've got to make a different bracket to sit the sat nav on, for one thing, and then I want to also fit this in, and I've also got to sort something out for the kettle, because I do want to have a brew when we're going. It's only a novelty thing, but I'm determined to get it going, so I'm going to put that. I can't really find anywhere to put it safely in the cab. On top there is a cup holder area, but it's the bottom of the kettle's too big for it, and it's wobbly, and I don't like it there, so I think I'm going to do a block of wood, then it can sit on the floor in the cab. I think it'll be safer then. Okay, another little project today just to keep me amused. I'll just quickly switch it around and show you. We're in the van, and I've got to try and do a bit of adapting. I've drilled 2 holes there, and I've tapped them. I've got a bracket to go on there, because I want to be able to hang that on the back there to keep all my paperwork together while we're heading over to Portugal. There we go. Just a little bracket. Now I've got to, on the back of this, just put a bracket on there, and then I can hook it over the top and down, and then it'll sit between the seats, and everyone will be happy. Right, I've made myself a bit of bracketry, like I said before, for this. It sits on there like that. Now I've just got to the paperwork folder, put them on there like that. Oops. Bolt it to the back of that bracket, and I can take that off. Ooh, crash on. Right, there we are, look. Just spin this round so I can see it a bit better. Right, there's me clipboard. I put the 2 little button head Allen screws, button head cap screws if you like, or Allen screws as we call them. Put my little bracketry around there like that for my board. Got my little bracket up there, so just slide in between there, and away you go. That's out the way, but also easily accessible for when we get to passport control, etc. I'll just put some rubber bits on the back so it stops it, because it's bound to rattle, isn't it? So I'm going to have to make sure I've got some foam on the back to stop that happening. Just an update. There's my kettle. See the lights on down the bottom of it. It's in its block of wood, safely out the way. I'm going to quickly unplug it though, because there's no water in it. Right. You know about the hook. We've done the hook around the back there for that. Now that's a bit better. That's fitted in for the sat nav there. I'll take that out and put it in as and when I want it. So I'll take it out there. I can then just, all it does is hooks under that bit of dash there, look. So when I'm out the vehicle, I can just push it under that lip there. It does go in with both hands, because I don't want it rattling or anything. And then off that, I've got my kettle. I can go off that one there. And then also, I've got my little power pack as well, which as we're going along we can keep charged up, and I'm trying to keep things so that they're not in the way of anyone. So there've been 2 or 3 little jobs there that have been worth doing. Since it's such a nice day, I want to be outside to do some. Oh yeah, I'm just about ready to finish on this one. Hopefully on the next one, which will be out in a couple of days' time, I should have a bit more news on finishing off 1 or 2 projects that you've seen me started here. But this, I don't need to tell you by now. If you've enjoyed this video and the content, please put a thumbs up. We always want one of them. A like is always nice, and comments, obviously, they're the most important bits, the comments. See how I'm getting on, what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. There'll be something there to keep you amused. Thanks again for watching.